Or the average person can't picture what a septoplasty is because they don't even know what a septum is. And septoplasty basically means to straighten the septum. And I'm going to try and describe what a septum is. The septum is the midline of the nose. It divides the right from the left. So this thing here, all the way in, is the septum. So I have a right nostril, left nostril, and there's a wall in between. So you have a room on the right, a room on the left with a wall in between, and the septum is the wall. Now if it's straight, great. You breathe through each side the same, both rooms are the same side. But imagine the wall is all bowed. One room's going to be huge, and the other one's going to have no room, you can't even get in because the room's so tiny because the septum is so bent. And sometimes the septum is even bent at the bottom, because this right here is the septum. Mine's in the middle, but sometimes it even makes the nostril smaller on the outside. So to help picture what a septoplasty is, now that you know what a septum is, it's the middle wall, I have this little model here. So this, imagine this to be like the side of the nose, so the rest is on the inside, but you have this, you have the bottom of the nose, and if you tilt your head back, you have the septum here. So that's what this is. This is the septum here. This is the front and top of the nose. So what's done with a septoplasty is there's basically three parts in the nose. There's the lining, which goes throughout the nose, as you see here, and then there's cartilage in the middle, which keeps it stiff, dividing the wall so the wall is stiff right from left. So what's done is we elevate, make a little incision at the bottom of the septum here, and then we elevate that side up, and just sort of elevate it a little bit, just kind of like that, so we can work on it. But so I can help describe it, I'm just going to take this mucosa off, which is not how we do it surgically. Now you're looking at the cartilage. Normally you're going to be looking at it like this, so the bottom of the cartilage would actually be here, and this is going to be the top of the nose, the top of the cartilage here, the bottom there. And I'm going to take the other lining off just to make it easier to describe. So if it's deviated, it can be deviated at the bottom, which means it would be twisted at the bottom like hers is. And some people it's deviated on the inside and it goes like that, and hers goes like that. So when I look in one nostril, and I showed you the nostril, wide open. But on this side, all it is septum. And at the bottom, in her case, it even twists like that, so that it even narrows this nostril over here, because the bottom's twisted like that, the rest is like that. So what's done is we usually remove the bent parts, but when everything is bent, you can't remove the whole thing, or the nose, because this is septum, holy nose, just caves in right here, and it all caves in, it even caves in here, and so you literally, your nose just falls down if you take the whole septum out. If the twist is only in the center, you can take the center of the septum out, no problem, but you can't remove the whole top and the whole bottom. So when everything's a mess, what you have to do is you have to preserve what's in there. So basically, what you would do is you would make and cut the septal cartilage, and you just don't cut it out. You just cut it into like, as if it was garlic. You just cut all the way through the septum, up and down in every direction. And now it's just a bunch of pieces, still glued on the mucosa on the other side so they don't fall off the wall. So they're glued on the wall, but all the hard stuff of the wall has now been softened. It's made into mush. So now you put a piece of metal on the other side, you push it over, and now the septum is all mush, and now it's right in the middle again. So you push it over like this, and now it's in the middle. But you actually, there's so much cartilage there because it's all bent, they even take little pieces of it out just to make sure it stays straight. And now, unfortunately, septums have a memory. They're going to say, I don't care, you push me straight, but you're not going to be here forever. And it'll just retwist. Everything's going to go right back the way it was, because it has a memory. And so you try to break up the memory by cutting it every which way you can, just from one end to the other, every bit of it. But unfortunately, that's never enough. And even taking little pieces out, you have to put a splint in there. So they make an absorbable splint, so this thing just goes right in there. And it's basically as thin as this. It goes right in there, and then you put the lining back on the other side, like you see there, and it's all now together. Then you sew it together from one side to the other like a quilting stitch. So now you have this splint which keeps it all stiff and flat, and all that diced garlic like septal cartilage stays nice and straight. And then typically you put a little packing in for at least a couple hours just to hold it just like that. And then what ends up happening is this splint takes almost 6 months to go away completely, but after 3 months it's nice and soft. And it just disappears because it's like cotton candy, it does dissolve. And now you're just left with the cartilage, nice and straight, and the lining, and no hole. And then you see it at the bottom, it's not twisted over, and it's not deviated at the top, and you have nice airway on both sides. So it's a complex septoplasty with absorbable splint, and that's what we'll be doing on her.